Hi, everybody. I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hold up. Leave me a comment if you like. All right, now. This is why. Why did I give up dating women in the U.S.? Okay, I gave up dating in the U.S. because I've been through like really about 5 major relationships in the U.S. Yes, 5 of them. 5 long-term relationships, and they all ended in disaster. Okay, because all I wanted was to just to be respected. Okay, just to be respected. But it seems like women here have gotten kind of a little masculine. They want to argue with you and everything like that. And I don't like that. I don't like arguing with women. I'm not. I don't like fighting with women and arguing every day. You know. I I dated outside of my race because I feel as if my race have let me down. You know.
Oh,
And in a sense, the women have let me down in this state. They have let me down. You know. Like I said, I've been with 5 long-term relationships, and all of them ended well, sort of bad, like, you know. And when I went to the Philippines over there, one, I didn't have to go through a lot of women, you know, and I chose one, and that was it, you know. But if you try doing that here, you'll end up with like 10 or 11. Maybe you'll find the right one then. But nobody can say that I just gave up on the women in the United States. I tried. I tried. But I got more time behind me than I do in front of me, okay? So I could no longer do it any longer. I can't try it any longer. I can't keep trying a woman and be with her for about a year or two and then they're gone. You know? That's how it is. Mm. And and I work, I get out and I work. I've always been working since I was like 17, 18 years old. Since I've been working. And you try to make them happy, you try to provide for the family, and then as soon as you got to tighten up and try to save money, try to save some money, then that's when the arguments start. Or when you spend all your money and none's left and bills are staring you in the face, then it's an argument. Then they want to go out and they tell you're not taking them out enough. You don't take me out enough. You don't do this and you don't do that. But what are they doing? What are they doing? Because a lot of them, some of them don't work. They stay at home. And like I said in my last one, it was a couple of stories ago about the idle minds. When you're sitting at home not doing nothing, you start thinking of something to do, something bad. So I never required uh no women that I was with here in the US. I never required them to work, you know, because I'm a man and I always try to take care of them, you know. But that wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. So that's why I'm friends with a lot of women up here, you know, a lot of women, but that friends as far as it goes, purely platonic, okay? But that's it for me, you know. I'm where I want to be. I'm where I'm respected. Where I'm treated with dignity and respect, okay? That's all really what a man wants. If you respect your man, you shouldn't have to worry about nothing. You shouldn't have to worry about him paying bills and stuff like that. You know, but like I said, they want most of the women here wants you to pay for everything and everything like that, and then they don't want to give you nothing in return. You come home, they don't want to cook nothing for you, or there's dishes in the sink. The bed's the bed's not made up, and they're laying around eating something, you know, maybe eating a pizza or something, and you come home, there's nothing cooking in the kitchen. Then if you ask them, hey, hey, where the food at? You don't cook nothing or something like that. So I don't feel like cooking all the time. Blah, 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 blah. You know, they want to argue with you, you know. But I tell you now, my wife, I will not argue. She clean. She will cook and serve the food. You know, make my coffee or everything. You know, like man, I was like astonished when I got there because nobody had never really done that before. You know, I usually had to ask them or argue with them to get them to cook something or bring my plate to me or something like that, you know. Now the women here were a little more traditional, like when my father was coming up, you know. You know, that's when the women were if the woman stayed home back then, you come home to a clean house, you come home to smelling something cooking in the kitchen or something like that. But no more. I don't know when this started. I think it started in the 90s or something, you know. That's when they started really getting kind of bad with this, you know. But it's hard finding a good woman here, you know. So, mm. So that's why I chose to date outside of my race, you know. Because it gets hard, you know. It's like searching for a needle in the haystack here, you know. Now, some people have found a woman that is like sort of traditional and it's agreeable, respectable, and they're not argumentative. When they find them, they hold on to those women. So they're off the market. They're off the market. The ones that's left are the crazy ones, you know. Now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about all women. It's just the ones I've encountered, you know. uh, and I just didn't want to search any longer. You know. Mm, mm, mm. So, and then women try to dog you out about you going abroad to find a woman. You know, talking about, well, they gonna take your money too. So what? So what? It's nothing compared to here. The money is long here. When you go abroad over there, it's just a little money. A little money equals the money here. You know, like you can take $100 here. That's like $5,000 out in the Philippines. You know, it's $5,000. $100 is 5,000. $100 is $1,000. So you can take your girl out to a steak dinner for like maybe $1,000. You know, you can feed like three people with that. You know, 3 or 4 people. So that's not an argument there about spending money, about them taking your money, because even if they were taking money from you, it's just like 20 to $40. You know, it's a no brainer right there. Yeah, well, that's my reasons. You know, and I know some of you may be saying, "Oh man, you sold out or something like that." I didn't sell out. I wised up. Okay, and like I said, man, the little maybe 2,000 or 1,500 it costs to get to the Philippines. When you get there, you got to spend a fraction of that 1,500. That's living. That's living. That's housing. That's light bills, cable, food. That's that's living. You know. So, like I said, man. Like I said, I'm sorry if some of you may feel some type of way by some things that I said, but keep in mind, I'm talking about me. Okay? This is why I chose to date abroad, to marry abroad, to have kids abroad. All right? Okay. Well, make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. Hit that bell notification so you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your family. Share them with your friends. Share it with your loved ones. And even share it with your enemies. All right. Peace. Adios. Salamat.
Salamat po!